everybody, and just as promised, I'm here to do my Six of Crows book talk / book discussion. Keywords, discussion, and book talk. This isn't going to be much of a review. This book is everywhere. Like, I've seen it everywhere. On Instagram, on BookTube, and on Goodreads. Everyone does reviews of it, and since there's already reviews out there, I just didn't feel like, doing that, because I can just easily just talk about it as a book talk and book discussion. And without further ado, let's get into it. So like I said, I know what Six of Crows is. I've seen it everywhere on Instagram and on BookTube, and everyone mentions it and how great it is. I'm pretty sure I knew what the plot was beforehand. I do remember reading something online. Someone had described the plot of Six of Crows, and so I knew it involved thieves and stuff, and I knew two characters, Kaz and Inej, because everyone mentions them. I didn't know anything about them, I just knew that they were from this book. So yeah, and I saw it in the shops and I picked it up because I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to see what the hype is, and I really, really liked it. It lives up to the hype, very, very much so. I thought it was fantastic. I love the whole world that Lee has created. I thought that's really cool. I really like when books and movies and TV shows and anything create worlds based on our world. Like, I really liked it, and I like magic too, and I found the magic in this to be very interesting. Granted, I did feel like at times when I was reading it, I should have known who the Grisha were and like how their magic worked, because it doesn't really explain it as much in this, because I think it's just to assume that you've read the trilogy before reading this. But other than that, it was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed this. It was fantastic, and I liked all the characters in the plot and everything, and I'll get into characters more later, but just about the plot. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure I knew something about the blurb, or like someone had described it, so I knew thieves. It has Kaz and Inej in it, and yeah, and that's basically it. And then when I got it and I read the blurb, I was like, okay, so it's going to be one of those situations, like it says here, together they might just be unstoppable if they don't kill each other first. I mean, the only people who really want to kill each other is Nina and Matthias, but they already have some weird history thing going on anyways. Everyone else, though, are pretty okay with each other. They just annoy each other. So that was a little bit of a lie. Just joking. And that's probably the only thing that I was going into with, like, pre-thoughts about the book, if that's a thing, was that, like, it's going to be tough because no one likes each other, and they're only there because they've got good skills to work. But everyone got along with each other quite well, but again, that's fine, because I loved it anyway, so yeah. I thought the plot was great. I liked the build-up. There was massive build-up to when the heist actually happens in the end. It was very slow, but it was good, because we were all getting, like, the different character perspectives, and multiple perspectives is great. I love that. Yeah, it was, like, good build-up. It made sense. But when it got to the heist, it just happened so quickly. Like, they were there, they're in the courts, they're already doing their stuff. Like, there wasn't a lot of talk more, and there wasn't, like, a lot of planning anymore. Like, we were going along with whatever the characters had said off-screen or off-page. When they're in the ice court, it's like we don't get the planning, so we don't know what's happening until the characters are like, this is my job, this is what I'm doing, and I have to do this, and you're like, oh, okay, right, cool. And that's probably, like, the only thing. I just felt like that happened really quickly, and then it went bad really quickly too, and Black Protocol came out, like they didn't want to happen. And when that was happening too, I was like, wait, why are we here again? Like, because no one was mentioning Bolyea. Is that his name, or is it Yolbeya? Yolbeya. I was like, wait, why are they here? They have to get him, because either I'm stupid, or, like, they just never mention him for ages, and they're just like, yeah, we gotta do our thing, we gotta do it. And then when Black Protocol comes on, they're all like, we have to escape, like, we need a plan to escape. And I was just like, you're here for a reason? What, like, why are we here again? Because I think it was because either, yeah, I'm dumb, and I had just assumed and I think they assumed that he was in the prisons as well, but then it's like, no, he's in another area. And they were obviously thinking that too, but again, we don't really know what they're planning anymore, and we're not with them when they're thinking and stuff. So I was just like, God, why are we planning to escape? I thought we were supposed to be getting a guy. What's happening? You know, so that was just the only little things. And at times I felt like some things were a bit too convenient, like Jesper being a fabricator, which was good. I liked the revealment of it, because if we were told before that he is a Grisha, he just never learnt his powers, you'd assume at the end sometime, like, yeah, Jesper would probably be able to use his powers to help them, and it wouldn't be that fun. Whereas if you find out then and there, like, oh my god, he's actually, like, he's a Grisha, oh, that's cool, it works. But just something at the back of my mind was like, that's a little convenient, isn't it? We don't know anything about him, and then bam, he's a Grisha, and they happen to get out of their cells. But like I said, it all worked out perfectly anyways. Yeah, I like the plot, and I just wish there was more involvement of the reader, but then again, I can't see it go any other way. And with, like, chapters, I wish there was more Kaz chapters in the end, but then again, I can't see it go any other way. I just would have liked to have added, like, maybe have an additional chapter, not have anything change to the story, but just have another Kaz chapter towards the end, because he hardly had anything, and I wanted to know his reactions to certain things. But yes, now going on to the actual characters. Nina and Matthias, I've seen so many people talk about them, and they're like, oh my god, Matthias is so great. But in the beginnings, when you're getting to know him, and he's explaining his culture, where, like, the women don't do anything, and, you know, they don't really care for their women and stuff like that, I was just like, he's not all that, but he's good. He's a changed man. I do like Nina and Matthias. I like them separately. I think they're great. I think they have good character chemistry, and they can play off each other. And I like how close Nina and Inej is. That's what I like about this entire book. The fact that they have friends, that people actually have friends, because a lot of the times in YA especially, you're either connected with someone because it's your sibling, or you're connected with them because you either go to the same school or something. But, like, I haven't read a book in ages where there's just, like, friendship. There's just a group of friends, and this is what this is. Like, they're all friends. They're not related. They're all different people, and they're friends, which is nice. I like that. It's great. Going back to Nina, I really hope... I don't want something bad to happen to her. I mean, we only have Crooked Kingdom, and that's it. And then it's like, oh, you know, either she's gonna die, or they're gonna find a cure for her Yerda Param addiction. But yeah, I like Nina and I like Matthias, and I think they're great characters. I like Jesper and I like Wylan. I love Jesper's little comments and all that stuff, and, you know, and then just, like, his interactions again. Like, I like all the friendship. Like, his friendship with Inej I find really, really nice, where, like, you know, he's always there with her and he helps her and all this stuff, and you see Kaz looking at them from afar when they're on the ship, and, like, Jesper is helping Inej up on deck after she gets shot, and you see Kaz staring at them, and it's either he's jealous, or he knows that it was Jesper who spilled the beans about the whole, you know, situation, which led to Inej getting shot in the first place. So it's either like, was he jealous? Or did he know that it was Jesper? And that's why he's staring at him, you know? I like that. I like how you never know. But anyways, yeah, I like his friendship he has with Inej. I find it really, really sweet. I liked Wylan too. He was a good addition. His dad is a horrible person. Like, the poor kid, just because he can't read, it's not his fault. Like, he's fantastic at everything else. But yes, I really liked those two. I thought they were really great. And I just like, you know, like, all of this unveilment of, like, characters and stuff, and, like, what they're like in the end. But yeah, I was getting vibes of those two as well, like more than friendly vibes, which I hope happens because that would be the cutest thing ever. But it's like hard to tell with Jesper. I think more so with Wylan, it's like, oh yeah, I think he's probably gay because of what he's mentioned and stuff. But with Jesper, it was hard because it was like either he's gay, bi, or he just likes making jokes. Because one of the reasons was when he's with Inej and they're talking about Kaz, and they're talking about bees, like he's a bee in a bonnet or something, and you don't know what he's gonna be like. Either he's gonna sting you or give you honey type thing. And then Jesper's like, yeah. And from that, I was like, does he like Kaz? Or does he just want respect from him? And like, he wants Kaz to look at him and go, yeah, you are my friend, and you are really, really good. Because Kaz doesn't really have friends, like, technically. He has people who will follow him, but are they friends? So that's what I got from that little thing. Like, does Jesper like him, or is he like, I want him to acknowledge me as a friend? Which, Kaz, you gotta stop thinking about these things, boy. But anyways, that was just something that I thought about. So it's just those two. I was just like, haha, what's going on here? Little Wylan and Jesper. Because that'd be the most cutest thing if they ever do. I'd like that. But anyways, going on to Inej, I think. I liked her backstory. No, I didn't. Well, I liked her backstory, but it was sad. The fact that she was kidnapped, sold as a slave, had to do prostitution at such a young age. It's disgusting. Like, why? This world's, and that happens a lot these days as well, as horrible to think about it as it is, it does. Slavery still happens. And I love the fact that she's like, you know what, with this money, I'm gonna leave all this and I'm gonna tear down all of these brothels and stop slavery. And I was just like, yes, you do it. And then she gets kidnapped at the end. Like, of course. I was thinking about it the entire time, and I'm like, there's only a duology. Is this going to continue on into the second book? What's going to happen? Now we know. I really loved her character. I think she's one of my favourites. I like the fact that she isn't all stoic, and she isn't all like, yes, I'm the Wraith. Like, she is what her nickname is, If Inej was to be all like stoic and like, yes, I am the silent person, like, I'm like a cat. Hooly hooly hoo, I can kill anyone. She wouldn't be that likeable. But the fact that she has this fun side to her, and she's likeable, and she's friendly, and she cares a lot about others and all that stuff, it makes her way more better. But if she was, like, trying to be cool by having her, like, quiet and, like, all stealthy all the time, and have that personality, she'd be like, whatever. But, I like the fact, like, all these characters are written like teenagers, except for Kaz. But then again, Kaz went through something traumatic to make him a bit more grown up than the others. But yeah, I really liked Inej, and when she was going through the chute and had to climb up it, the entire time until she actually got there, I was like, how can she climb up a metal chute? She'd fall. Until she actually got in, and they were saying it was stone, I was like, oh, of course it would be stone and brick. Why would it be metal? They don't have that. Like, it's a fictional world, man. They wouldn't have a metal chute. You idiot. Of course it's bloody brick. The entire time I was just like, she's just gonna fall to her death. I don't understand. She can't be that good, can she? But yeah, I really liked that scene. And when she was like, you know what, I'm gonna get out here and just demand, Kaz to be like, I want your respect. I'm gonna punch you in the face. And I was like, yes, you keep going and you do that, because that boy never shows any sense of, like, thanks. Like, he doesn't say thank you, And I'm like, yeah, Inej, you tell him. I just loved her. She was great. And again, I liked her interactions with the other characters and all that. And when, I was reading it, I was like, in the beginnings, where, like, it is revealed that she does like Kaz, but she sees it as, like, it's never gonna happen. It's a crush. And she hates the fact that she has a crush, because she's like, why, out of all the people, do I have to have a crush on a guy that doesn't show his feelings, you know? And it's like, it's okay, because we know what he's feeling. But that's another thing, you know, I like the fact that she turned down Kaz and she's like, no, I'm not staying with you, mate. Sorry, this is the first time I've heard you confessing something to me. And, no, peace out, I'm gonna save all the girls. I like that because it would be very uncharacteristically of her. Did I say that right? I don't know. It'd be very weird for her to do that and go, yeah, I'd stay with you, because it's like, she just happens to have a crush on him. But from her perspective, it's like talking to a brick wall in the ways of feelings. He doesn't really show anything to her. He may give her more information on certain jobs and like share things more with her, but in that sense, there's nothing there. But since we read what he's thinking and he actually does like her, she doesn't know that. And this is like the first time, except for like when Nina says things and it's like, oh, he's staring at you again. So I like the fact that she was like, no, Kaz, ain't doing it. Soz, mate. Like, what would you have me do? Like, wear gloves all the time and stuff? Which, I like that part. But I was just kind of like, girl, you don't know what he went through, okay? I'm sorry. But, yes, I liked how she just kept with her gut and she didn't go with him, because that probably would have happened in other books and stuff. So, I liked that. So, yes, I liked Inej. Now, Kaz. Oh my god. I like that you didn't find out what happened to him until later on. And boy oh boy. It's the most saddest one, I think, out of all of them. Maybe very close to Inej's backstory. But oh my god, now we know why. Like, the fact that he had to use his brother's corpse as a float to get back to shore makes sense. Like, when they were describing, like, how he always wears gloves and all this stuff, I assumed either he was burnt, he doesn't like germs, or like, you know, like people don't like touching hands. Like, I just assumed that, because Inej sees his hands and she's like, his hands look normal, wherever he has, I can't see it, you know. And I was like, okay, well, he's got his hands, there's nothing wrong with them, he doesn't have claws. So I was kind of close anyways. A traumatic experience, PTSD type scenario. He doesn't like touching flesh because it just reminds him of when he was surrounded by corpses of bodies, which makes perfect sense. That would have an impact on you, especially when you were that young as well. Just the whole like unveilment of like who Becca Rowlands is and like what happened to Geordie and all that stuff. It was really, really good and really, really sad, and I was tearing up the whole time reading it. Now we know what happened to poor little Kaz when he was a little boy, and this is why he's so hard and stoic. And I feel for him because he likes Inej, but he's like, I can't do anything about it. I can't like touch her in the face or anything because it grosses me out. I don't like physical contact because it grosses me out. And I think there's also fear of, if he likes her, something might happen to her. She might die. Then he have to go through the whole experience of his brother dying again, which you don't really want to do. But I just like when, just the whole unveilment of him, you know, where he's like built up this entire persona, like dirty hands, he's the devil, he's a demon, and all this stuff. And then when they're at the prison and they have to get undressed and like he takes off his gloves and they're just normal hands, and then you see Jesper's reaction and he's just like, oh, he's literally just a kid. Kaz is just like, what were you expecting, you know, like, and Jesper's just like, soz, I wasn't looking, haha. But yeah, you know, he literally just is a kid, and he's just built up this entire persona as like an armor, as a thing for people to fear him, because he doesn't want to be in that situation again where he was used. He wants to be on top, and I admire that. And the whole, like, when you find out what happened to his leg, he literally just broke it. Like, there's nothing to it. Like, he's not some demented demon type thing. He broke his leg, and that's why he has a cane. That's it. You know, like, I just loved how just like simplistic it is, and like he's called Dirty Hands because he's good at playing cards, you know, and like of all these rumors, and it's like, oh, he's dirty hands because he kills people, or like he bathes his hands in blood and stuff. No, he's good at playing cards. That's why he's called Dirty Hands. Like, I just love that, all of those unveilments in like, oh, righto, I love that. The fact that he has no physical things to him, he just looks like a teenage boy, says a lot. The fact that he can have this power, and the fact that people are so scared of him and fear him, says a lot about him, you know? Makes him all the more better. I really like Kaz. He's probably my favourite. And then Inej. And then the others follow along. Oh, and the cutest thing I felt like, just as a last thing to talk about in this book, was after when Nina takes the year to Param, and she's talking to Inej, and they mention something to do with like Kaz, and then she's like, oh yeah, every time he looks at you, his breath hitches, you know, like his heart palpitates differently. And I thought it was the cutest thing in the world. I was like, oh, I loved that. I don't know why. Because I think it was because of how descriptive it was, and I could picture that in my head of him just like looking at it, and he's like, oh my god, senpai. No, but because even when we're in characters' perspectives, they don't tell a lot of their personal stuff to us anyways, and that just made him all the more vulnerable. It just made him more human. It made him like really innocent and like a kid, and you're like, oh, I like that side, that's nice, that's cute. Even if we're getting it from Nina, because she can now sense those things, I thought that was the most cutest thing in the world. Oh, I'm really excited to see what happens in the next one. I don't know. I haven't read the blurb. I don't want to read the blurb because I don't like reading blurbs sometimes because they give stuff away. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't think though that it was gonna take the entire book to get Inej back. I think she's actually gonna get back pretty early on, and then they'll have something else to do. Like, there's probably something else going on behind scenes that they have to like tackle as well. Like, maybe there's a bigger thing going on. So I think that's what's gonna happen, because yeah, I just don't see the entire book focusing on getting back Inej, or like that scenario. I think that's gonna happen early on, and then something else is gonna happen, and they're gonna have to like do something about that. Plus, they also need a cure for Nina, so maybe they'll even go to where she's from, which I can't place the name because I forget. So yeah, I'm very excited to read the next one. I really love this book. I think it was definitely worth the hype. And these were just all my thoughts. This is just mainly just like my thoughts on it, not really a book talk or book discussion. I don't know. But yes, and that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for sticking with me through this all. And yes, I shall see you all again soon. Goodbye.